All right, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. Last week, I hope you got a chance to check out our last show. We talked about drones and business, and if they have any business there. And today, we're going to talk about the acquisition of LinkedIn by Microsoft. And joining us for the conversation today is our good friend Taj. Again, I'm Ryan. This is Nick, and we got Chad over here. Let's get social. All right, like we said, we were going to talk about the acquisition of LinkedIn by Microsoft and what that means. So internally in the office, we were talking with Taj about it, and he had some interesting takes on it. My first thought was the price tag. Holy crap, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, 26 billion is...
26.2
okay,
billion.
I get, yeah, okay.
0.2 still a lot
Point
of
two,
money.
yeah.
We're talking billions.
Yeah, that's 200 million there. Yeah.
Well, when you're
money.
Microsoft, you have 100 billion set aside for acquisitions this year. I mean, it's really just a drop in the bucket, though.
That's true.
So I guess I would start the question off. What would be the reason for Microsoft to purchase someone like LinkedIn?
What did they buy? Like, just think about it that way. What are you getting when you buy LinkedIn?
Data.
Lots of data. You have over 400 million users, all professionals, freelancers, recruiters in the technical space. And think about what exactly is Microsoft's target audience. Business professionals.
Yes.
You know, you just have somebody do all the research for you.
Right. It's an interesting way of looking at it. Any other reasons that would drive them to buy them?
Integration too. So again, you're going back to a lot of professionals, especially IT professionals, freelancers, and you have a suite of Office products.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to push that? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised in the next coming months after the purchase goes through, you start seeing Skype pop up a little bit more and email integration into LinkedIn. Now you're pushing your own product to people who want to use it, or at least were thinking about it at one point, and now you have an avenue to actually target those people.
So they can set the stage with LinkedIn,
Mm-hmm.
introduce their suite of software and tools, and wow.
Especially considering most of their focus now in the long term, at least for Microsoft's growth, is online tools, less from software development and more cloud computing. What better space to push that than online?
You'd mentioned Skype. Do you think that's going to be one of the first introductions into that? Because right now, the main communication tool that LinkedIn sells and promotes is their in-mail feature to be able to communicate with people. Do you think they're going to have something with Skype? Any ideas?
Most likely. I think at least email integration is probably be one of the first things, because that's kind of an easy win. You can switch over the communication between different people and make it a seamless transition, and people will start getting familiar with your own products.
That's an interesting way of looking at it. I think that there's a good way that they could further down the road, it's going to be a communication tool, like you have your conference calls, your even just chats within, colleagues or with other companies. You would kind of get away from what we see a lot of use is with Google, in Google Chat, Google Video, things like that. You guys see something like that as well?
Oh, definitely. Google's actually a really good model to look at the future of LinkedIn. They started off with search, and then they started integrating all their cloud tools into everybody's everyday life, file sharing, Google Hangouts, and Microsoft has definitely seen the success, and they probably will tag along with some of those concepts.
So for communication, so one thing that I was just thinking about, earlier in the year we saw an exhibit where Microsoft was able to have conference, like a hologram type conference with somebody. You remember that tool?
I remember the Minecraft video.
Okay.
Where they had the 3D Minecraft table and they were interacting with it.
Yeah. So
I did not see this.
in the same respect, I mean, one of the hardest things in LinkedIn, or maybe one of the biggest challenges, I think, to people who do their prospecting, who look and try to find the best audience for their business, setting up a meeting. I mean, that's difficult for people who don't want to be sold something, but if
Right.
there's a good connection, it might be mutually beneficial. I wonder if maybe Microsoft has some vision for taking that and integrating some sort of surreal environment where you can have a real meeting with somebody using that technology.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of one of my questions was just like, how do you think LinkedIn is going to change because of them buying it? Like, is it really going to change very much, or do you think Microsoft is going to keep it pretty much the same? I heard that they're keeping the CEO from LinkedIn
Okay.
is still on board. And I don't think Microsoft is planning on changing anything like that. Anyone who's running it.
Yeah.
So do you think they're going to change a lot of the concepts for LinkedIn, or do you think they're going to let LinkedIn just kind of keep going the way they're going?
Well, I don't think LinkedIn was broken. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
that's not the reason for the acquisition to fix it, but absolutely, I think they're gonna, as Taj was saying, take some of their core features and functionality. I mean, LinkedIn's a very good marketing platform
Absolutely.
for businesses. So, I mean, I don't know how much Microsoft was planning on spending through LinkedIn to promote their products too, but now being an owner of said product, I
Right.
mean, it's going to be a lot more economical for them to make that investment and then maybe improve it with features and functionality.
Yeah, it's something that they're going to have to be careful with, though, because you don't want to introduce new features that's going to change the way people interact with it. Because right now, LinkedIn is very active, and you have a lot of business professionals coming to the site, and you don't want a huge exodus like a MySpace. I mean, it is a social media platform.
Yeah.
And you don't want. I mean, it's very easy to ruin it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of good information in there, specifically LinkedIn's content. You have a lot of people who are professionals in their field, and they publish a lot of papers, articles, discussions. How many groups do each of us belong to?
Yeah.
Where people are talking about the latest issues within their own field. Now, you're Microsoft, and you service those fields. Well, what do you do with that feedback? Now you can improve your own product and then remarket it, saying that, hey, here's the issues that you guys are experiencing, and this is how we fixed it. So now you also have that, well, not free, but organic feedback for issues that you can solve.
Mm-hmm.
I had a couple thoughts when I was reading about this going through. You see one of these mergers happen, and then so now we've got another huge corporation owning a startup Event was a startup like LinkedIn. Will we now see another follow-up to LinkedIn where there'll be another, like, I don't want to say LinkedIn Junior, but there's going to be changes that are going to be made once Microsoft comes in. I doubt seeing like making it paid subscriptions only type of thing. But is somebody else going to come in and say, okay, we aren't the big bell cow. We are just another startup like LinkedIn was, and I'm just going based off of a lot of people liked LinkedIn because it was its own subsidiary, and now we have a big apple on top of it.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of think LinkedIn fit a niche market. All right, so we had MySpace, and then it didn't really cater to their audience, which is why Facebook came about, and people liked that I'm in a closed group, so people kind of migrated over to Facebook, and then LinkedIn popped up as a niche market for business professionals because no one wants to share their family photos with some people do, but you have a lot of photos and personal information you don't want going out into the business world. So that's where LinkedIn came in and took some market share away from Facebook. So if you look at there's been numerous startups for social media platforms.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them have failed because they don't offer anything new.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see a competitor coming up anytime soon unless they offer some type of service or functionality that's outside of the norm. Something that actually attracts somebody, gives somebody a reason to switch. Because right now everybody's familiar with LinkedIn. Everybody has a profile. They're keeping it active. They already have their social groups that they're engaging with, and when you move to a new platform, you have to start over. You lose all that.
Mhm.
It's the main reason Facebook is still around, because people don't want to move their life story.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the whole value of Facebook in the very beginning was the exclusivity. You had to have an edu email address to even subscribe to it. Then they opened it up. But I think one of the biggest turnoffs of it now is that your grandmother's on it.
Yes.
So your exclusivity is, I mean, they deviated a little bit, but they also opened it up to monetize through the advertising, to make it a monetizable bit of software, and they have a huge, user base of everybody, and they collect information. Even targeting ads through Facebook is very robust, very specific about finding the right audience for your message. LinkedIn has very similar functionality too.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it has that niche. It's the business professional. That's when you put your suit on for social media, as opposed to your tank top and flip flops for Facebook.
Do you comment on your kids' stuff to embarrass them?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Oh, but I will.
Just wait.
That's the plan.
Another kind of note is I'm glad to see Microsoft taking more of a focus in their actual target audience. So if you look at Microsoft's acquisitions in the past, they look at Nokia. Right?
Yeah.
They acquired Nokia. What does Microsoft have to do with phones?
Right.
Yeah.
It's a failed market. They haven't had any success. They wrote off that acquisition. So I'm glad to see that they're actually coming back with a focus with something that's actually related to their business, something that they can monetize and will actually help them out in the long run. And we've seen that shift since their new CEO took over, which is nice.
Interesting.
So what about, is there room for Apple in social media in the same
That's actually
arena?
what I was just about to ask.
Yeah. So Apple's a big competitor. Of course, they have their own niche audience of users, musicians, artists, designers.
But
some
again,
people-
business people.
Yeah, business
I mean,
people as well too. We have
right.
Apple products at the office, and Microsoft as well, and Google computing products. So, I mean, what do you think? What do you think they can do, or is this even relevant for them?
Well, I think it's just like, who would they acquire in order to fit that market? So Microsoft didn't build this social media, right? They acquired it.
Right.
Mhm.
It's very similar to Facebook buying, what's the picture one? I don't use Instagram.
Yeah.
That was their niche.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same kind of thing. Who's using Instagram? Mostly a lot of Facebook users.
Yeah.
Like that's a big thing.
And they realize the fact that they can't steal that market share. They
Right.
can only acquire it. Their Instagram was too far ahead with features. People were familiar with it. People were already using it. So it's the same thing in this case. Like, what can Apple do? They can start their own social media platform, but who's going to join it? Who
Right.
wants to join an
Exactly.
empty social media platform? Nobody. So that's why Microsoft decided to acquire instead of build. And I'm sure they both tried some type of social media platform development in the past, some low key, something that they tested the waters with, and most likely it's like every other social media, new one that comes by and then it just died, fizzled out.
People get very attached to certain things and no one likes change. So it'd be hard for even a big company to create a new social media and actually have people
But you can buy
abandon the old stuff to join the new
You can
stuff.
buy another social media.
Yeah.
I mean, for example, one that is currently independently owned, that could be the next purchase, would be something like Reddit. Reddit is its own independent thing, correct?
Yeah, it definitely is.
And it is a form of social media. I mean, people are sharing stories, sharing pictures, sharing.
Do have user accounts?
Yes,
Yeah.
and that could be something that
Wow.
maybe that's the next one.
Well,
that
the
they'll go
biggest
after.
problem, so here's why I know I don't think that would ever happen with Reddit. And yes, while Reddit is privately owned, it's user run. So with Facebook and LinkedIn, it's a governing entity that tells you what you can and can't do. For me, I can go to Reddit and start my own board and become an administrator. all those boards are run by users. So if you don't have staff, or if you don't have staff to take over for the people who quit because this company was just acquired by a conglomerate, you're not going to see members sticking around very often. It's the same thing with Dig, right? Dig It or something like that.
DIGG.
Yeah, it was the first one before Reddit, and what you saw was they got purchased. It was there were some executive decisions that happened that kind of tailored how the content was going to be displayed and how people could use it. And what happened was all those users went to Reddit. So that one's a little bit of a special case.
Right.
And it has a lot of mob justice in there, and people are typically anti-establishment.
Absolutely, especially those people.
Yeah.
Those people.
Well, I mean,
We are those people.
I use Reddit too,
Yeah.
but when
Yeah.
you go to, you don't want people coming into your living room and telling you how to watch TV or what you can do with your own free time. And that's what people do. It's a place where people can enjoy their own free time. They don't want somebody telling them how they can use
Right.
or browse Reddit.
Very interesting.
All right, Apple, challenge.
Yep.
Yep.
See what,
What are you gonna buy?
You're gonna buy next.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. Hope this spurred some discussion on your end, or if you have any comments or feedback, we'd love to hear it. You can find us on Twitter at our @Atomic Group. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, just anywhere social media is popular, including LinkedIn. So stay tuned for the next episode.
See you guys.
Have a good one. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. We had a lot of fun talking this episode. We hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any comments or suggestions or feedback for us, you can leave it below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to us. If you haven't had a chance yet to check out the last episode where we talked about drones in business, you can check it out right over here. Hope you guys have a great day and stay tuned for the next Let's Get Social.